should Christian women make the first move when pursuing a relationship?
And if we're trusting God for the right person is going to be right in all aspects. So there's no need to really sample. You want to...
You're married already now?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it for me.
You're married!
You know,
Well, it's not about being married. It's like...
Hello everyone, hello family. This is not Mr. and Mrs. William. This is with the VEES. Alright, and we are excited today to have with us
The
once again the
on cloud
Lazy.
Alright, so they have something special for us today.
We don't know about
We don't know what it is. So if you see surprise,
putting us
Hot
on
seat.
the hot seat.
and if the seat is too hot, I'll put them on hot seat. Alright, but it's going to be an exciting time, so we want you to sit back and enjoy. Alright.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
So, what we wanted to come with was just some questions from young Christians. So, young Christians in the church, just in terms of love, dating, and having relationships and maintaining their identity in Christ. Because these days it's difficult. Especially the younger generation, it's getting more and more difficult to be able to keep the world in the world and be away. It's getting more and more difficult to be in the world and not a part of the world. So we wanted to just come with some questions potential questions that could be, young people in the church.
And not
could
potential, they are questions that people have, but they're afraid to ask.
Right, okay, let's do that. The questions that they have that they are afraid to ask. That's it.
Alright.
That's exactly it. And some of these questions are hot questions.
That's why people are afraid to ask.
So we're gonna start off with, should Christians date non-Christians? Right off the bat, should Christians date non-Christians?
Well, I think it's a question that we've answered a lot of times. It's like one of those common questions. Alright, there's a simple answer and there's a long answer. Alright, so I will give the simple one first. Alright, and the simple one will be no. Alright, the explanation is because the Bible says that do not be unequally yoked with an unbeliever. Alright, meaning there are so many things that they don't have in common. They may think they have chemistry in common, which is natural, but the compatibility is not in common. First of all, how do they agree in the place of prayer? Alright, how God gives us a vision, alright, and the vision has to do with the kingdom of God. Right? How will you explain it to the other person? How will you partner to fulfill that vision? So what they don't have in common is weightier than the things they have in common. Alright, so to save that other person the hustle of trying to understand something that they are not compatible to understand, let them just marry an unbeliever and they can both agree together.
But some people say, oh, when I get married, I'll convert him.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it doesn't always go that way.
Right. And we are not the ones who save people, it's God who saves people.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes it goes the other way around, they unconvert the...
Right. Ethan.
Yeah, there are actually testimonies of people who eventually become non-Christian.
Right.
What about you're in the church and you're not meeting your person in the church, and you go out there and you meet somebody who could be a potential partner, and they are willing to learn about your belief and your religion?
I'll advise that you wait for the person to become a Christian first. Wait until the person becomes a Christian. He wants to learn about it. But there's a difference between learning about a religion and then becoming a Christian. I can say that, I want to learn about Muslims. How do they think? And for a different purpose, not because I want to become a Muslim.
There are times people come to the church for a relationship and they pretend to have been saved just long enough to get someone.
Right.
Alright, so it is important. The person should not be saved because of you. But if they are saved because of you, you have to sustain their salvation. They don't have a relationship with God. What is important is you want them to have a relationship with God because it is God that is love. It is God that can sustain that marriage. Me and my friends that are Christians, we always tell ourselves, I mean the guys, that I love my wife, yes, but it is my love for God that is sustaining my love for my wife.
Right.
You understand? So I'm not faithful because I just want to be faithful. I'm faithful because I also have an allegiance towards God. So if that person doesn't have that relationship with God, alright, if the relationship is because for you, they don't have the fear of God, they have the fear of you. Alright. So when they lose probably contact with that relationship with you, the allegiance to God is not there.
Yeah, the thing is, we cannot, to be sincere, there are times you feel like, why did I marry this person? You know, that butterfly feeling is not there. What sustains you is because I love God, you know. When you don't feel like it, you still go all the way to sacrifice for your partner because you love God.
Okay, so the next question, the next question was going to be what does it mean to be unequally yoked, but I guess we touched on that. The next question is, if it, sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's hard for us to meet people in the church. Is it okay for Christians to use dating apps?
You know what, I think...
Let me just give this illustration. A guy was gisting us, alright, and he said his girlfriend, he has been talking about the girlfriend, and one day he said that the girlfriend almost stabbed him. I was like, wait, that where did you meet? How did you meet? Then I said they met at a club. Alright, he said, but he himself now added that, but she's a Christian. I said, okay, she's a Christian, alright. Now, people need to be wary about the use of the word Christian. Right? There are people that, on paper, they ask you what's your religion. They put paper, alright. They put Christianity, right? But it's just beyond that. Right?
It's not beyond that.
Yeah, I mean Christianity is beyond that.
Okay.
Alright. It has to do with bearing the fruit that bears resemblance with Christ. Alright. So the issue with certain places, alright, going to those places is the intentions of people that are there. Alright. You cannot guarantee it. Alright. In other words, people go there, alright, to date. Not to look for spouse. Alright, so the person that is looking for spouse going to that particular place, the likelihood of finding people with the right intentions is quite low. In fact, even if they have the right intention, for that to have been the atmosphere, alright, I think.
Well, for me, I have a yes and no answer.
Alright. So my answer is just simply no.
Alright, let's hear yes and no part.
Because the reason why I said so is we are in technology age, you know, people meet people even on social media, even on dating apps and stuff. Because I've seen videos of some Christians who said they met themselves on dating apps. But for me, I would say that after meeting someone on dating app, you can create a safety zone, and I would say friendship. So if you should meet someone on a dating app, can you build friendship first and get to know yourselves first? Okay, am I compatible even in terms of my faith, in terms of spiritually, emotionally, in every area? Am I compatible with this person? And that would be maybe within 1 month and something, you know. But the thing is, you can't guarantee someone to say, okay, I'll just build friendship for 1 month after we meet on dating app. On a dating app. Except you meet someone who sincerely wants to get married and really wants to know this person, you know. So I would say, okay, when you meet on dating, because you can meet anybody anyway.
Right.
Even on Instagram, you can meet someone, but you build friendship first, and then afterwards, I can work with this person. Then you can make the relationship official.
Right. Because I think a lot of people, once they meet on the website or the apps, they just enter into a relationship right away, and that's where the problem comes in, because they didn't try to create a foundation in person, because they're like, oh, we've been talking online for so many years.
Anybody can hide behind.
But it's different when they start communicating in person.
Exactly.
All right, I like that one.
But why I said that is a lot of times what pushes people there is I think a kind of desperation. And the first person that comes to them, right from there. In fact, someone says the worst time to go into a relationship is when you're desperate, because your sense of judgment, your sense of perception at those times has been lowered, right? And we know that everybody is marketing themselves. Right? Someone that you meet physically, they will not show you their bad sides. Right? So it takes a sense of peace, a sense of patience to be able to know hidden details that people are not communicating. Right? And if you go to dating sites with desperation, we meet people that are pretending and have their.
There are lots of pretense online, that's true.
Yeah.
All right.
But you can also give your opinion.
I was gonna say, I don't necessarily agree with the desperation. People who are desperate go online. I think it's more of, we're living in the tech age, like you said, where maybe you're working and you work with, especially if you work on computers all day, it's probably easier for you to meet somebody online than, you know what I mean? Especially you get up in the morning, you jump in your car, you drive to work, you're at work all day, you jump in your car, you drive home. You know what I mean? You're not out in the public unless you go to church on the weekends. And if you're able to go to a church function, you know what I mean, then you can maybe meet people. But if you're busy, and it's probably easier to meet people online.
I guess I belong to the older generation.
Okay, so then that leads me to, should Christian women make the first move when pursuing a relationship?
My simple answer, I would say no. And I have my several reasons. First of all, the man is created to be the head, or the husband is the head of the home, and the head or the leader takes initiatives, makes the first move in terms of everything, almost everything, I think. And if to start with, it's the woman that is taking the initiative and making the first move, then she will have to
follow through.
She will have to follow through with taking. And I strongly believe that if a man wants something, he goes for it. You can tell if a man wants something. If he's doubting and you are the woman who needs to, I don't know. That's just my opinion.
But I've heard of instances where the woman says that she has gotten the word from God.
That's what I was going to say.
And they know, and they take that as, they can go ahead and pursue, because maybe
what I wanted to say is I gently differ now. I beg to differ a bit from that. Alright, I believe there are instances where, in fact, someone believes that women, they first of all make the advancements without men knowing. Alright. For instance, when the man enters the room, the woman knows where to sit. He knows how to you know, maybe when the man now notices the woman and feels like he's interested, long before that time, the woman has already, you understand? So what we call our own advancement, our own proposal, they made themselves available for that. All right. So I believe that there are certain subtle ways that women can do this without necessarily, you know, making it loud. And it's actually biblical. All right.
Naomi
exactly. When Naomi told Ruth to go and cover the feet of Boaz, all right. That was
yourself, put on your nice clothes and go lay at his feet.
And again, if you go to the story of Abraham, when Abraham told his servants to go and look for a wife from his tribe, all right. What's her name? Rebecca. The lady they found, all right. She did something which is the principle, alright, and that principle was the principle of kindness. The servant prayed that whoever it is, let that person be nice, let that person be kind, alright. And she fed him, not just him, and fed the donkey again. And he knew that this is the woman. And that was almost the same thing that Ruth did again for Boaz. Alright, so the principle is be nice naturally, but that particular person just be a bit nicer.
Give the hint. So sometimes these men, they need a nudge.
Yeah.
They need a little nudge.
But you know, some women can take it and just make you maybe have to seduce and.
No.
Well.
No.
We have to create a balance then.
Yeah. So you met someone now, and you're dating this person, and in Jamaican we have a saying that says you shouldn't buy puss in a bag. That means you
cannot buy a cat in a bag.
Buy something
that you don't know what's inside.
You don't know what is it. You shouldn't take something you don't know what is in it.
Yeah.
So the question is it okay for Christians to have sex while dating, to sample what you're, especially if you're sure that you're going to get married? Is it okay?
Well, yeah,
I get up the right
time. Well, in a natural sense, if one goes to a restaurant, all right, and a very standard restaurant, you get to taste the food.
You sample the food.
Alright, that's the general.
I mean, in some grocery stores, they're encouraging you to buy, so they will give you free samples of the food.
Well, they're sure you're going to buy, right?
Well, they're not sure. They're not sure you're going to buy. They're hoping that you'll buy.
Well, I know some that one will not even suggest it. That I want to sample.
In a restaurant, that's a grocery store. Now a standard restaurant, an expensive one like that.
That's just by the way. Even though if all the restaurants now start, doing that, because anything is happening in the world today, so we can't use that as a standard. All right. But the question is, so what happens if after sampling you didn't like it?
So you keep sampling.
So you move to the next one. So at how many instances?
And this thing, and sincerely, this thing about not liking it, I don't know. What do you mean you don't like it in that sense? Because some people are scared that after I get married, maybe I don't get to like the experience of sex with this person. I can't relate.
I
can't relate.
Actually, what has happened is there's been this kind of perversion, alright, that is ruling the minds of people, that is governing their expectations. People don't know, but this social media has conditioned their mind. The media has conditioned their mind on how relationship should be, on how love making should be. Alright. So what they are calling my relationship goals, for some, is what they have filled their mind of, even maybe in pornography.
Yeah.
Alright. So what they are calling sampling now and the ideal experience is the things they have stored up in their mind for a long time.
Things that they've seen on social media and things that their peers, they've gotten from their peers.
And what many of them don't know is those people that present this information, some of them don't even have good marriages. Some of them are going through divorce because those are perhaps not the main things that sustain the relationship. Alright, so I would say that for such persons, many times they are minoring on the major and they are majoring on the minor. Alright, because after sampling, when they find a person that now meets their satisfaction, it is most likely that that thing that they are looking for is not what is going to sustain the relationship. Right? Because
sorry, and someone was saying that, I think it was a message that was saying that stony waters seems sweeter because people that are not married now are like, oh, people that are married are enjoying their sex every day. And they just want to have sex, right? And they feel like, oh, sex is sweeter in that sense, But people that are now married, we are begging them to have sex. People that are not married, we are saying, no, stop the touching for now. People that are married, we are saying, please keep touching. But I strongly believe that it's not just a matter of even the sex itself. When God has order in everything, and I believe one of the things it tends to build, abstinence tends to build this self-discipline.
True.
Because a lot of times your partner might not be in the same location with you, So what will you do at those times? Can you still be disciplined enough to say, oh, my partner is not here, my husband is not here, my wife is not here, So if that discipline is not even built, there's every tendency to probably commit adultery and it's the trust itself is broken. Because if I can, before marriage, if I can have sex with him, even during marriage, the trust is not there. You might feel, well, I'm doing it with my husband. After we get married, I'm not in close range. My mind might be going, "Ooh, am I sure? Because we know, we both know that we couldn't discipline ourselves. We both know we couldn't discipline ourselves. Am I sure he can hold
by himself? Can he discipline himself? Yes.
So that's where the trust issue comes in, adultery comes in. So there's just a lot we can say. The disadvantages are a lot more than just the small hours or minutes of pleasure.
And I just want to add quickly to that from another perspective. The Bible says God always gives good gifts, and if we're trusting God for the right person is going to be right in all aspects. So there's no need to really sample before, unless you don't really trust that God is giving you something good,
And even this sampling thing, I think it has a way of reconditioning one's appetite. I don't know. But imagine you sample for this where you have different experience, sample for have this many, and when you eventually settle down,
now you have all these experiences.
Imagine there's now a gathering, and all the people you have sampled are there. And the thing again is, even when you meet the perfect person, alright, this sense of perfection, you are the one that decides who is perfect at the end of the day, alright? Because after meeting the perfect person, after marriage, you might see other people that you have more chemistry than. Alright, so are you going to say that because you have found another person that is not perfect,
that
looks more perfect? So the dissatisfaction will always be there if people don't build that space of discipline.
Right.
Okay, so 2 more questions. We're gonna wrap it up real quick. This one should be real easy question. Yes or no? Now you're married and you met your right person. Then now that you're married, is it okay for Christians to have sex before going to church?
To church wedding?
Before going to church.
Okay.
For the wedding.
No.
No. You're
going
married.
to church service.
You're going to church with your husband and wife. You guys are going to church, and before
you go to church, you want to.
You're married already now.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it for me.
You're married.
You know,
it's not about being married. It's not about being married.
Some people believe that you're desecrating yourself if you do it right before going to church, or if you're even worse if you're preaching.
Yeah.
They said no.
Okay. Now I get you. Okay.
You understand?
Sunday morning.
Yes.
As husband and wife, can you? Let's say it's going to preach
Yes.
Sunday morning. You're married now.
Yeah, but your mind is to be focused on.
Biblically, there's nothing. All right, there's nothing against that.
Right.
All right, but I would say that I preach very well on Sundays.
It depends on your personality in terms of if you're the kind of person that can focus. Some people can read where there's noise.
Right.
Some can't. So you're very well that can still focus notwithstanding. Fine. But if you think you need it to stay more focused, well.
You get. And then you have some people who afterwards, when they go to church, they can focus on the worship because they're just thinking about what happened before coming to church.
Right. That's it.
And I think that's why some people might ask that question, because they say, oh, you're not going to be focusing. But for some people, it might help them to focus more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Alright, ready, last one.
Should Christians listen to R&B? What is the type of music? Secular music during sexual experiences,
or like to set the mood, or something like that.
Some answers will be a personal answer for me. All right. Again, my answer will be personally, no. All right, because if I'm not listening to it normally, all right, why will it be during the sex that will probably be different? All right, I believe any experience that I want. All right, I believe any kind of song. I know it's not even that, any kind of experience I want a song to give me. There are more than enough songs, gospel songs, that can give me that. By gospel songs, I don't mean songs about Jesus. All right.
There are gospel artists that sing
gospel songs from gospel artists, or songs that are not desecrating in terms of the people that sang them. All right. There are some people the kind of songs that they are known for. All right. They are corrupting. Such that even after the experience, they have released certain words, all right, and we know the words we speak are spirit, and like those words, they have already entered into your atmosphere. So after the experience, those words are already governing, your desire. So you see people after that desire, they start having strange desires that even their partner cannot satisfy. They don't know where it came from. It came from the person that has already governed the atmosphere. So personally, for me, not for everybody.
Sister Joy, you agree with this one?
Yeah, I'm a music person, and I'm very, very keen about the lyrics of a song.
Right.
I'm very, very keen because songs tend to stick. I can sleep while sleeping, and while in my. Is it already?
Is it done?
We can keep going.
Okay. I can sleep, and a song can actually wake me up, and I'm singing the song in my mind. That's how much song have so much impact on me. So I don't play with the kind of songs I listen to. So once I hear a song, I'm not interested. So for me, it's usually even a turn off for me. Some people say, okay, try to get in the mood. Me, it doesn't. If it's not, the words are not edifying, it doesn't get me in the mood.
All right. So I just want to add a little follow-up question. What would you have to say to people who think like if they listen to gospel songs to set the mood or during sex, they feel like
God
they
is
feel
watching
uncomfortable.
Like
Yeah.
God
They
is
feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable,
Like God is,
or like they're desecrating
like
the
they have
gospel song, or
they
they're
have
doing something
invited
wrong.
God into the
Something
presence
that's-
and he's
yeah.
standing there watching.
God created sex now. God is his omnipresence. For me, I don't see any big deal in it. He created it and it's a good thing, within the confines of marriage. So I
Right.
don't mind even if God is there.
They say marriage is honorable and the bed is undefiled.
Listen, don't quote that Bible verse because that's gonna open a whole different set of questioning.
The next part.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it, guys. We're here with the VEES, and I enjoyed myself in this
I
little
did
Q&A, this little interview,
Yeah.
and hopefully in the future we'll have a part 2.
Hopefully.
Definitely.
So like, comment, subscribe, and submit your other questions if you have questions.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.